From one German brand, we head to the other one. BMW M Performance Racing Series out on track for their second race of the day. And it's classes A, B, and C for a 12-lapper. As Brennan's going to come in here and make me very jealous because he's walking with a pizza by the looks of things. That's very nice. Very nice. Very, very nice. But Nick Capps is going to join me here for a bit of commentary. So you can enjoy your pizza, punk. Thanks for organising us one, eh? That's very nice. Just out of the place. I'll have my Mrs. Ball's chutney Simba chips packets. That's all I got. Claudia's going to give me another comment here as well, I think, by the looks of things. Nick, it's about 35 degrees Celsius in the shade out there. About 700 degrees Celsius in the sun. In the race cockpit right now, even worse. Oh, that's terrible. Thank you, Brendan. Thanks. PE Oaks, exactly. You see how they are, hey? They look after their own. They don't worry about us Joburg boys at all. No, we're joking. Nick, back in studio for race 2 now of A, B, and C. A few cars that had some issues, all been sorted out. What's been happening down in Performance Racing Series?
Yeah, like you mentioned, Greg, super hot on track right now. I'm sure the guys are just too happy to jump into those hot suits of theirs. It's going to be really toasty in the cars right now. Some feedback from last race. We had a couple of incidents. So we had Mish going off in his E30, actually hitting the wall. We didn't see a lot of footage of that. Not massive damage, but unfortunately out for this race. Then poor Benny's car, he suffered a pretty catastrophic engine damage to that. So really feel for him and hope he can get that going as soon as possible for the next race. Then we got the German and Neck Makris tangling. It looks like Neck had just got ahead of the German in that in corner 1, and then as they got into corner 2, looks like he didn't hit the brakes just early enough, and unfortunately front right damage on Andreas's E36 and some rear bumper damage as we saw on Neck Makris' car. But it looks like the fast development team have got both those cars duct taped up, and already I saw they were doing a lot of wheel alignment, etc. So good job to that team to getting those cars back on track.
I love the fact that you say duct tape and zip ties. If you can't fix a race car using duct tape and zip ties, don't come to the racetrack. It's that simple.
Are you a real mechanic if you don't use duct tape and zip ties?
Exactly. Bob Neal, of course, will be looking to try and do what he did in race number 1 and keep out the pack of Class A competitors behind him. That's an important aspect considering this is the first round of your championship. So maximum points on the day will be probably in his thought pattern right now. Leon Loebscher will try and probably reverse that if he can and make it even Stevens between the two of them. But as you said, with Neck Makris being sorted out, can he be a thorn in the side there for Renier? And then if we look further back there, the battle for Class C was pretty spectacular. We had Hein van der Merwe, Rob and Salvi all going in. Salvi, after an off-track excursion, still salvaging a third place in Class C.
There's some confident races in that classic, Greg. So I've got in good authority. I spoke to Mr. Gehring there in that beautiful E30. He said, give me one more lap, then he would have had Hein. So he's very confident he'll take the honours for this race. He starts in what would be 4th, I imagine. Yeah. So let's take a look at this race 2 start.
Well, it doesn't look like Fubs is holding back. He's decided, well, I'm going to have a go. If you guys want to stay with me, I dictate the pace. So if you don't want to be up close and personal, then here we go.
Some really big gaps.
And Loebscher up the inside, looking for first place, never mind third or second. He came from the back of the pack of Class A, and he's right there. Salvi hasn't had a chance to go and fetch that bumper yet, has he? So he's going to be running bumperless there for race 2, as he did in all of race 1. So it didn't affect him at all. Unfortunately, no radiator damage on that car, so he was lucky to survive that one. And then we'll keep an eye out on the rest of that pack as they come through. But certainly up front, getting up close and personal right from the word go. And there goes Loebscher into turn 4.
Making the move nice and fast. I'm sure he doesn't want to get held up over there, just like those Class B competitors were struggling to get spot 5. I think Fabio was putting some very good defensive lines down. But Leon Loebscher has said, no thank you, I'm not going to tolerate this at all. And it looks like Leon and Bob have got through. And now we'll see how the class just below that. So we've got Renier Smith and Neck still leading. Andreas, how they're going to try fight Mr. Fedetto.
Did you find out what the issue on Andreas' car was?
So Andreas, right-hand side, it looks like that a little bit of knock to the suspension, etc. So they had to fix a little things, front splitter, etc. What a side-by-side move there with Salvi and Nicky Dix, and Rob Gehring right behind them, and last race winner for Class C, Hein van der Merwe fast in pursuit there.
looking for a way through, not finding it though, but super effort there from the two cars just ahead of him, side by side. And enough room being given. There's Gearing on the inside, looking for a way through, and I think he's got it.
Can he put the power down?
Oh, wait for that back straightaway now. Watch for that little boxy to come onto the back straight first in that next pack of cars. As they come onto that back straight. Here they come. He's through. Oh, what a move from Gearing. And Heinz coming along for the ride as well. There's a big look there.
So in that class, we've got Ozbagioni.
Yeah.
Still leading the class over there from Salvi. Salvi, making up quite a few positions after that first lap incident in race 1. Rob, we saw just make his way past Nicky Dix. Nice move on the inside to get past there and then pull up the hill. But Hein hot on their heels. Let's see what he can do.
Looks like Nick Macros has got through and made a way through on Smith. Smith now keeping off the German. Bagioni being closed down by Salvi and bringing Rob Gearing and Van der Merwe along for the ride. So Hein wants to just be the trailer on the back and then that boxy BMW ahead of him if he can, and then bring along for the ride Nicky Dix, Arnold Naidu, and possibly even Alan Milligan, who's not too far behind there in that number 27 machine. A little bit of smoke off the back right there. Is that a concern? What could that be?
Yeah, there's a lot of tyre rubbing happening over here, specifically going to corner 2 with all that banking. But yeah, let's hope it's not something a little bit more cynical than that.
Here we go. German onto the back end. This is C's at the moment. Bagioni held on to the C lead for a long time before he had to succumb to the powers that be behind him. But he has got a slight margin over Salvi and Rob at this point. Oh, and Andreas with a similar problem. I think there you go.
Something definitely wrong over there.
Someone's let go. It's a big pity. Remember, we mentioned in race 1, he was actually fastest yesterday overall. He would have been on pole had the rules allowed it.
It looks like a lot of sliding happening towards the end of that video footage over there, but nothing into the walls. I don't know if something let go in the braking zone up to corner 5. Really scary coming into there because you're carrying a lot of speed from corner 4 upwards. So yeah, that's going to be 2 DNFs if he's unable to get that car going, and I doubt he's going to be able to get back on track.
Big pity there for the German, losing out 2 DNFs in his campaign to try and get the number 1 plate back into his stable. He's had it on numerous occasions. This man certainly is on fire for that. Going to make it 1 for 1 as we see the 7-4 car rolling off the circuit, unfortunately. That's the other curve end car. I'm not quite sure who's in Sydney.
That'll be Billy Cook.
Billy Cook, I think.
Got yellow flags going up to corner 5
That's
there.
Just for the German. Just
Okay.
to warn them that the car is on the side there. And marshals are on the track as well. That's why the yellow flag will be out there. So no overtaking into turn 5 for now.
Hopefully we'll be able to skip and avoid a safety car with that car in a safe location over there. Fabio's keeping onto the back of Bob Neal over there, so running a very respectable race there. Now, Neck had got ahead of Renier Smith, and they've swapped positions back again. So either Neck's made a mistake or Renier's made a great move to get ahead of him and take that Class B lead back into his own hands.
Where he needs to be. He wants that number 1 plate. He's got to try and get all the wins that he can. So getting back ahead of Nick Macros is an important aspect right now. Macros wants to come back at him though. You can see him trying to close that gap down into turn 2 Cashel corner if he's able to. So Macros fighting hard for now to try and return the favour there and maybe close that gap down again. Speaking of fighting hard, Nicky Dix is in a fight of note here again with Hein van der Merwe.
So that's going to put a lot of pressure on Hein. Hein will be wanting to challenge, up front over there to get and chase down Oz, leading that class right now, but he can't shake Nicky Dix.
Nicky Dix is a hard man. He's got a lot of experience, mainly in Porsches more than BMWs, but it is good to have him as part of the series, and I know that since he stepped into this BMW class, he's enjoyed every aspect of it, and I think that's part and parcel of the camaraderie that goes with joining the M Performance Racing Series. Camaraderie about to be thrown out the window though by Salvi though.
Salvi on the bumper of Ozbagioni. I'm quite sure. I'm quite sure he's going to say, "Jeepers, let me grab a bumper for myself there."
I'm not quite sure if that one will fit on his car, but we'll make it fit. Zip ties and duct tape. I'm going to say it again. Here we go. Across the line, Bagioni hanging on for dear life as Salvi starts to put the pressure on for potentially what would be Class C's win for race 2.
So this would usually, get us to halfway classification right now, but 12-lap race, so we're not just there yet. So still a long way to go.
Exactly. You decided to give us 2 more extra laps. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. Got to work double time here for M Performance Racing Series. I think I'll send Bernard the invoice for the additional 2 laps.
Absolutely.
Looking in the background as well, though, as we watch this battle unfold, we did do an insert yesterday, and of course, part and parcel of Passion for Speed is the outside entertainment that's provided for young and old. And it looks like down at turn 3, just behind that big grandstand, the kart zone are certainly firing as much as what we're seeing here. Little battles of karts going on like they're seeing on the main circuit here, and trying to emulate their favourite drivers are some of the younger and older drivers in those karts.
Certainly plenty of entertainment here at the Passion for Speed. Look at the lap times right now. So Leon's definitely putting the hammer back down. I mean, that last lap you could see they were really struggling. But yeah, I mean, basically 108 and higher from Fabio backwards. We've got the leader of Class B. There's Renier Smith doing a 110 last lap. Nick Mucker is doing a 109.9. So they're really struggling for pace in this hot track right now.
Just chat to Leon Loebscher about that pace in the hot laps, okay? Because look at that lap time, bud. Wow. Loebscher absolutely cooking out there, and pun intended, because he's found something special in these hot conditions to get down into the very low lap times, which we kind of expect to see from him and from Bob.
That's going to be a tough gap to chase down. We're looking at just under 5 seconds between our leader, Leon Loebscher, from Bob Neal. The gap again around just over 4 seconds. Andreas back on track?
Yeah, just picking up on that quickly as well. So whatever the issue was, looks like he sorted it out. He turned the car around and got it back on circuit. So good to see the German back in there. Still in a chance of being classified, because with the longer race now, those additional laps might still classify him in the, was it 75% you got to do to be classified?
I believe that's correct.
Yeah. So in with a chance here of still getting classified, which will give him probably 3rd place in his class, and that'll be 3rd overall for the day.
So I think if he's really going to try, capitalize on whatever points are available, potentially fastest lap for his class, that could be on the cards. I'm sure that Renier and Nick Marcus are going to be looking after those positions to ensure maximum points. What's happening over there? That's a big slowdown from Leon.
Bit of dust in the corner there, so maybe he thought somebody had gone off, and yellow flags were waving. So I'm not quite sure who the car was that went off, but there was certainly a lot of dust up at turn 5. Didn't see a car off at all, but I think there was just a cautionary lift there from Leon as he now gets into the second half of the race proper. 4 to go.
Yeah, nice long race we have here. 12 laps for the first time here in BMW M Performance Parts Race Series. We're really going to be testing these cars here at this hot Zwartkops track today. Lap times only a little bit slow with that that dust popping up over there, but Leon's still in the 7, so he's keeping the pace. Oh, big incident over there. Hind turning around. Is that Nicky Dix taking an evasive action?
And there's a car on the left. I think it might be Salvi. I think they caught Salvi and attempted to overtake him, and then there might have been a little touch between the 2 of them. So is that the curving car? So Nicky Dix caught it and then went off again.
Looks like he's struggling to get that turned around or
car back on track. I think he's just waiting for a clear track to get back on track, and maybe just give himself a... Remember, you've got to come back on the circuit in the safest place possible. That's the kind of unwritten rule of motorsport. Don't just drive in. There's some battle scars from that incident in turn 6.
Looks like a lot of bumpers aren't going to be leaving this track intact.
Yeah, and there's still a couple that's still going to be going. They've got to fetch them from certain corners. Is he put into R for race there?
I think that's the R for race. Absolutely.
R for race. Nicky Dix trying to get back onto some tarmac before he decides to rejoin the circuit. As we now watch Fedetto into turn 8, 3rd in Class A, 3rd overall at the moment.
So that leaves Rob Gearing to now go hunt Oz Bargioni. So we've got Oz Bargioni leaving Class C from Rob Gearing, and then we've got Anant Naidu who now takes that 3rd position after the tangle between Hein, Nicky Dix, and Salvi.
What it does mean as well for Rob Gearing is a possibility of an overall win, because remember he got 2nd in the first one, and Bargioni finished down in 5th. So Rob Gearing in that really cool livery from the old German touring cars days.
And I wouldn't even look for the on average right now. Our timing is telling Rob is 0.8 off of Oz Bargioni.
Sure. So could even get ahead and take it overall.
Just over 2 laps to go. I think he's going to go hunting.
Yellow flag down into turn 1 there, just warning of potential incident out of turn 1. Macris is out of 4, heading up to the top of the hill. Going to try and salvage whatever he can out of this one. It's going to be a 2nd place for him in Class B. That's Bob Neal out of turn 8. He'll start the final lap, I think, or is it two to go still? Two to go. So penultimate lap there for Bob Neal.
So after that little tussle, we've got Hein, who looks to have come out on top, and then Salvi, who's placing just behind Alan Hilligan. And then on our timing over here, it shows that Andreas is actually ahead of Nicky Dix.
One thing I've got to watch out for there as well is I've just picked up on, here we go, that's about all I was hoping we were going to see. Can we squeeze through there, Mr. Gearing? No, not yet. Yellow flag, so you can't do it there. You'll have to wait until they get into turn 2 or maybe onto the back straight away. It's the car, it's Salvi's car. That's the reason for the yellow flag there on the left-hand side.
Okay.
But, yeah, that Diebold's alt machine coming along and looking for a way past on the high-flying Ozbagioni.
Great battle to watch over here. They're going to be pulling up onto the back of Nick Makris over there. But yeah, Oz is he's had his mirrors filled for both races. He's had become the absolute champion of defense. Is he going to be able to keep it together until lap 12, or is Rob going to get his way and seal the race 2 victory?
Leon starts the final lap as he heads towards turn 2. Just watching the shot because you might see Bob coming. Yeah, Bob has closed the gap down, but I think it's because Leon has rolled out slightly.
Right, last lap close to a 1:11. Certainly not his conventional pace. But does Bob have enough to be able to chase that down? I think that gap is still too significant. Just over 4 seconds. It might be a little bit too late.
Yeah, he's going to just maintain that gap nicely now to the line and ensure that he finishes up the second race. It's 1 for 1 for him and Bob. So they'll leave here depending on who got the fastest laps, possibly on even points. Although I think I'll have a look for you. Tell you right now, actually. 6 out of Leon and 6-3 out of Leon and 6-4 out of Bob. So Leon's got the fastest lap from race 1 and he's potentially got the fastest lap for race 2. So he's going to have 2-point advantage.
Yep.
Yeah. Flag out. Done deal. Second race goes to Leon Lopscher. Great effort there from the former champion in this class. And Bob Neal comes through for second place. So consistency from the top 2 there for Class A. Fabs is still going to get third, but he's quite a way down. A long way down in terms of the lap as well, behind the top 2 in Class A. You may see a couple of other cars come across the line before we even see Fabio, but here we go. Kind of want to see this battle to the end of the race, and it looks like Bagioni's going to hang on. Oz, by hanging on, should move himself up into potentially second overall because Nicky Dix had to retire, so did Salvi, and Hein van der Merwe is too far back. So that could be first and second on the road, but the second car will take overall victory in Class C ahead of the first car, which will be Ozbagioni.